Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to go right into the stock market charts. I've got some really important key sectors and key charts I want to show you about what's kind of the next major move I'm seeing in the markets and where the opportunity lies. So if you guys find value in the content, leave me a thumbs up. And just a quick note, I won't put out a video tomorrow. I'm going to be out of town, so just let you guys know I won't be around tomorrow. Okay, guys, so getting right into it. XLF, we've got a sell signal and a breakdown. It's really been playing out over the last few days. It hasn't been that impulsive, but we're starting to see some more selling coming in today. And to me, I'm looking at some of these individual stocks, and it looks like we've got a breakdown. So here's your daily chart coming off the October 20th area. You've got this nice bearish rising wedge. All right, so we created this bearish rising wedge. You've got negative divergence right here on the PPO and the RSI. That's telling us. That was telling us in advance that we were likely going to see a trend reversal, all right? And we're going to break this uptrend. That's what it's telling us. But you got to wait for a sell signal, which is a break of trend. And we're starting to see that break of trend now. Looks like we're going to have a good sell-off. I think it's going to happen today is what I'm seeing. But lots of selling across the board in the financials. Let's flip over to some of these individual financials. Ally. Okay, you can see on the daily chart. Clean uptrend line from the March 2020 lows right there on the daily chart. Okay, you've got negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO telling us we're going to break trend, and we're waiting for that sell signal. I'm seeing it right here. I'm stepping in short on this thing right now. Actually, I stepped in a little bit, started to sprinkle a little yesterday, and adding to that position today. Okay, so as long as the selling continues, that is going to be our sell signal, and I'm starting to take a position on that one. Of course, I could be wrong. The buyers could step in and they could whip this thing back up. And in that case, we don't have a sell signal yet. But again, that's what I'm seeing. Bank of America, we actually broke the last few days. You can see here off the November 2020s. Bearish rising wedge with negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO. You started to break trend here and haven't been able to recover it. We've seen selling, basically ever since. So the bulls have not been able to recover that broken trend. And so far, I'm seeing a breakdown and a sell signal on that one. Another one, Wells Fargo broke down the last couple days, really a week ago. And this is coming off November or October 2020. Clean up trend line right there. Negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO. Breaking trend. Now, we didn't impulsively sell down at first. We've kind of just drifted sideways on this one. But starting to see some more selling come in. And so watch these to continue to sell off. That's what they look like they're about to do. Mastercard, I want to roll out on this one. Okay, so this is coming off March 2020 lows. Negative divergence in the RSI and the PPO. And you can see here as we zoom in, starting to break, starting to crack. Not impulsive yet, so we don't have that full sell signal on this one yet. But we might, it might show up. So I just want to kind of point that out in case we start to see that selling show up. Okay, so financials I think have a sell signal, and you pick your favorite financial and chart it out. If you want to learn how to use technical analysis and chart things out, take my course, link in the description below, okay? I teach all these skills in my course. It's not free, but it's 99 bucks. I priced it so that it's affordable for anybody who's in the markets. Okay, guys? Next up, home builders, PKB and construction ETF. This we have a sell signal as well. So here is the uptrend line on your daily chart. This is really coming off October 2020. Clean uptrend line here. And we didn't really have negative divergence in this one. It doesn't have to be a condition of a breakdown, but we've broken trend. You can see the selling starting to get impulse, and we're starting to break down on that one. So that is reflecting in the Toll Brothers trade that I've talked about. Here's Toll Brothers as a short trade. Again, this one came off the March 2020 low. So this looked like one of the weaker stocks, at least the chart. So that's why I picked this one. But March 2020, you can see nice clean uptrend line. We made a divergent high, negative divergence in the PPO and the RSI right there, telling us that this divergent high was likely going to be the end of the line, and we were going to reverse trend soon. We then had a sell signal. There's your sell signal, or a breakdown right there, breakdown candle. Back test 1, back test 2, and continue the downtrend. So Not completely obvious that we're in a downtrend yet because we haven't broken below these recent lows, but I think that's the way it looks like it's going. Clearly, we got rejected off that trend line, and now we are moving lower. So down almost 5% today. We got to take out the lows, but I think it's going to happen. Next level of support, 50.42. All right, there's probably another level of support somewhere in here. I think there's likely there's probably a level right here. I can see that we have a little bit of a level right there. So we might stop right around this area, 58.40. But I think we're going to break and continue lower over time at least. So swing trading down on that one, looking good. So here's a trade setup. This one has not triggered yet, but keep an eye on it. JCI, Johnson Controls, clear uptrend line coming off the March 2020 lows right there. You can see we've just been kind of creating this bearish rising wedge. I don't have the top of it marked out, but it's basically like that. And we have negative divergence in the PPO, negative divergence in the RSI. We're waiting for a break of trendline support. We break, and I've got some support levels. $48, I think, is a very logical target. And that would be a drop of about 30%. So I think that's probably my final target on that one. Let me get rid of these here. But yeah, look for that. No, it's not there's no reason to get into it yet. We're waiting for that sell signal again. Moving on, let's look back at the industrials. So here's XLI coming off your March 2020 lows. Nice uptrend line there. Negative divergence in the RSI, negative divergence in the PPO, and starting to break trend. So more selling today. We're seeing just consistent selling. It's not super impulsive yet, but it's consistent. And I think that's more important than seeing the impulsive. It shows that people are stepping in early and selling. And more likely as more and more people notice that the selling is starting to become consistent, it will increase intensity and become more impulsive because, all of a sudden everybody realizes it and then they start to, take profit and shorts pile in and things like that. Okay, flipping over to some of the industrials. There's a lot of industrials, but some of these I've been looking at. Here's URI. More selling today. I am short this one. I got short, basically on this sell signal that we had. But URI, you can see nice clean up trend line off the March 2020 lows. And we put in negative divergence. These are divergent highs up here, meaning that the RSI and the PPO continued to make lower highs while price made higher highs. Price was diverging from momentum. That's what that's saying. So negative momentum. We wait for a break of price trend support. There's your break or your sell signal. Nice impulsive breakdown. Little kickback the following day, and then just nothing but selling since. So we're seeing a break, and I think we're heading lower. So next level of kind of support that I see, 267.55 is really the level that kind of makes sense to me. That's about a 13 or 14% drop. I think there's probably some other levels. I mean, we might hit, there might be a slight level right in here at at about 303.52. Maybe we'll hit that today. But I think the profit targets for me is about 267.91 and potentially 235.92. This one, ITW, it's starting to crack today too. This is Illinois Tool, March 2020 lows, clear uptrend line, negative divergence in the PPO, and we didn't really have negative divergence in the RSI, so kind of mixed signals on the momentum. And we're starting to crack, starting to break. It's not super impulsive, but again, it's the morning time, so we could see more selling throughout the day, and this could get worse and worse. So starting to crack on that one. Another one is CAT. I'm not sure if this one's breaking yet, but it looks like it's starting to crack. This is coming off kind of May 2020 area. Clear uptrend line there. Negative divergence on the PPO and the RSI. And we're looking for a break of trendline support. It's not super impulsive yet. We'll see how that plays out, whether the selling continues or if they hold that one today. And we'll just wrap up with the general market analysis because, again, financials and industrials, I think, are where the plays are at right now. Those look good. And some of those short stocks I've talked about continue to look good as well. I can cover those here in a second. But Qs continues to rally. You can see they're rallying tech today. And again, looks like it wants to run up and do that back test. So tech's looking like it's rallying while the rest of the sectors are kind of selling off. So that's likely not going to allow the SPY to really sell off. Again, we're just looking for that back test up here at about 348, 350, somewhere in there. If we get that, that's going to come off the March 2020 lows. So there's your uptrend line right there. We have clear negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO in the triple Qs. And we broke trend. So we got a sell signal here, and we're just doing a back test. So I think that back test is going to be a marginal new high. It's going to be another divergent high, end of the road for Qs, and then likely we're going to roll over. And then SPY is likely going to just continue to kind of trickle up with tech. Just not as strongly, but I think SPY will likely kind of trickle up, probably do another back test. We're making all-time new highs in the SPY. Even today, it's making an all-time new high. But this is a divergent high, so new high in price, lot less high, not as high in momentum. So divergence, negative divergence. And then the other one is XLV. That one looks like it had a short bear trap, XLV. So you've got this one coming off the March 2020 lows right there. Clear negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO, and yet they you broke. You didn't. It wasn't super impulsive, and they've managed to recover that today. So bear trap. I think likely this is kind of continue to grind around and then break down. But again, that right now is not a breakdown, so I don't see a short on that one. That's a bear trap as of right now. And some of these shorts continue to work. They're not doing a whole lot today. They're just some are up, some are down. But Lyft continues to sell off a little bit. So we got rejected off our resistance line at 58.83. And the main thing is that I'm really trading is this trend line right here. Upward trend line there. Negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO. Breakdown or a sell signal and a back test. Didn't even get all the way to the trend line, but they stepped in a little early. We're seeing some selling. So I'm looking for more selling to come in and ultimately looking for gap fill all the way down here. See the gap? I'm looking to fill that at 32. I still like the trade, still looks good. Winnebago continues to trade to the downside. You can see clear uptrend line off the March 2020 lows. We put in negative divergence. I don't have it marked out for some reason. Oh, you know what? I think it's because it actually didn't have negative divergence on the daily. But we did break trend. So there's a clear breakdown, and we're continuing to work our way lower. So we got to take out this level at about 66.70, 66.80, and a break of that should bring us down to about 60.82. We break that, we could go all the way down to 47. Tesla rallying a little bit today, but Tesla's really just kind of going nowhere. It's ultimately, we broke trend right here. Here's your uptrend line right there. And we have, didn't really have negative divergence, but we did break trend. There's a sell signal, and we've just been kind of drifting sideways ever since. So I'm looking for continuation down to 460 on that one. It's about 461 for a Tesla. So just let it do its thing. Starbucks continues to kind of drift sideways. We have a clear uptrend line off the March 2020 lows, negative divergence in the RSI and the PPO, and we have a sell signal or a break of trend, and then a back test and a failure. So again, this could drift sideways, kind of work its way higher and lower, but ultimately I think we're going to resolve to the downside and continue to trend downward. Neo's kind of just doing its thing. It's not doing anything today. I don't have an update on that one really. There's no indication to me that it tells me what we're going to do. Bigger picture, we have an uptrend line. We broke trend and we're going sideways. All right, so I think we're likely going to continue down to about 22.40 or so, but not today. DraftKings. So I got this arrow here, and let me get rid of kind of some of these things, but this is the direction that I think DraftKings is going, is down. And basically, you can see here we have a clear uptrend line on DraftKings. Put in a head and shoulders top right up in here, and we broke trend right there. We also had big negative divergence building. So all of this was divergent highs. You look for a break of trendline support, and there's your break right there. So we broke, back test. They overshot a little bit, made it look like it's going to recover. But again, I still think you can see today we're back below there, kind of selling off. I suspect the selling will increase throughout the day, and we're going to work our way lower. So DraftKings next level of support is about 35.52, and I think that's the direction that this is heading. You know, we could zig and zag our way down there. It's not going to just collapse, but and then Deere. No strength in this one. It just, continues to sell off. So Deere, this is an industrial as well. Uptrend line right there. Divergent high, so you have negative divergence, divergent high, break of trend line support, kind of a back test, not much of a back test on this one. And it basically just sold off and then just flagged out, bear flagging. So I think this sets us up for a move down to 318. It's about 318 as our next level of support. I like that one. And Carvana had a nice big bearish engulfing the other day. So again, I think Carvana is working its way down to this trend line down here. This looks like kind of the more major trend line of Carvana. This is COVID, so just drop that's an outlier. Just throw that out. And I think Carvana is going to work its way down here. So 200, I don't know where the price level will fall, but we'll watch that one. And Boyd Gaming continuing to it's just drifting sideways today. Not a whole lot going on, but bigger picture, you have an uptrend here. We had negative divergence up there. We had a sell signal, and we're just, I think we're just continuing to kind of consolidate as we work our way lower. Okay, guys, just to wrap it up, XLF, that's my play right now is these financials and shorting a lot of these financials. The trades are just getting started in these. I've been talking about them for a while, so that's what I got. And again, everything on my channel is just my opinion, not trading advice or anything like that. So guys, give me a thumbs up. Check out the course if you haven't done so. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of that. I really do. And I'll catch you guys on Monday.